You're being ignored right now, aren't you? That feeling of being invisible, like a ghost walking among people who just don't see you. Pay attention because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover an ultra-rare psychological trick that only 2% of men know. It's the social boomerang effect, a reverse psychology technique that transforms indifference into pure magnetism. I guarantee you one thing. Once you understand this, you'll never beg for attention again. Do you know your biggest mistake right now? You're trying to force it. The more you try to get attention, the more you push people away. It's like social quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. Have you noticed how that guy who seems not to care about anything always has people around him? It's not a coincidence. It's pure strategy. I'm going to tell you something almost no one realizes. The human brain has an internal radar programmed to value scarcity. Studies show that when something becomes less available, our desire for it increases by up to 300%. It's biological. There's no fighting it. You're about to learn how to hack that system. But first, let me ask you a question. How many times have you texted someone and waited for a reply like an idiot? How many times have you tried to strike up a conversation and felt like you were talking to a wall? Stop doing that right now. Wake up, man. You're playing the wrong game. The problem isn't you. It's your approach. When you pursue, you lose power. When you strategically withdraw, you gain control. It's an invisible dance of bodies that happens in every human interaction. Now pay attention, because I'm going to reveal the 5 signs that show when someone is ignoring you on purpose, and how to completely turn that game around. First sign, short and delayed replies. When someone takes hours to reply with just okay or yes, it's not a lack of time. It's a lack of interest. Their brain is literally telling you that you're not a priority. But calm down, this can change quickly. Do you know what you do? Stop replying immediately. Wait, double the time the person took. If they took 2 hours, you take 4. It's not childishness. It's value recalibration. You're teaching their subconscious that your time is also valuable. Does that make sense to you? Second sign, frequent cancellations without rescheduling. When someone cancels and doesn't suggest another date, they're telling you something without words. It's an unconscious test of how much you'll tolerate. Most men fail miserably here. They insist. They suggest new dates. They become predictable. You're going to do things differently. When someone cancels, you reply too calmly. No problem. Let me know when you have some free time. And after that, total silence. You disappear. You live your life. You post on social media having fun. Suddenly, their internal radar detects your absence. Can you feel the shift in energy? Third sign, always superficial conversation. When someone only talks about the weather or generic topics, they're keeping you in a safe zone. It's like an invisible fence you can't cross. But there's a psychological trick to break that. You start talking less, much less. Use the 70-20-10 rule. 70% of the time you listen. 20% you ask questions that spark reflection. 10% you share something personal but intriguing. Never tell everything. Always leave a mystery in the air. People are addicted to mystery. It's stronger than social cocaine. Have you noticed how TV series hook you? They never reveal everything at once. You need to be a series, not a documentary. Documentaries are predictable. Series generate obsession. Are you starting to understand the game? Fourth sign. Closed body language, crossed arms, body turned away, zero eye contact. The body never lies. When someone is physically closed off to you, their mind is too. But there's a powerful technique to reverse that. Reverse mirroring. Instead of copying their body language, you do the extreme opposite. If they're closed off, you become ultra open. Relaxed arms, genuine smile, positive energy. But here's the trick. After a few minutes, you gradually start to close off too. You create a noticeable shift in energy. Their brain will notice. It will question. It will want to understand what changed. That's when the magic happens. Did you notice the subtlety? Fifth sign. Always busy when you suggest something. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. When someone is always busy for you, it's not a packed schedule. It's a low priority. You're at the back of the line. Time to completely change lines. Stop suggesting dates. Stop making yourself available. Start living a life that other people want to be a part of. Post about your hobbies. Show that you have an active social circle. Create genuine FOMO. FOMO is fear of missing out. It's one of the most powerful psychological triggers there is. When you stop inviting and just start living, something interesting happens. The person who was ignoring you starts to realize they've lost access to you. The human brain hates losing access to something it once had. Can you see how this changes everything? Now let me tell you about the CDE framework. Curiosity, distance, engagement. 3 simple steps that will transform any social dynamic. Curiosity first. You plant a seed of interest and then retreat. It could be a half-told story, an intriguing comment, a sudden change in behavior. The important thing is to create a question mark in the person's mind. Distance comes next. You create physical and emotional space. Stop initiating conversations. Stop liking photos. Stop always being available, but pay attention. It's not about being rude. It's about being busy with your own life. Do you understand the difference? Engagement is the final step. When the person shows genuine interest, you re-engage. But never 100%. Always keep a reserve of mystery. Always have something more important beyond them. People value what they can't have completely. I'll give you a practical example now. Imagine you're at a party. Loud music, people talking. That person who always ignores you is there. What do most people do? They try to approach, strike up a conversation, impress. You're going to do the total opposite. You greet them politely and move on. You interact with other people. You genuinely laugh at something funny. You are present but absent at the same time. You create a bubble of positive energy that doesn't include them. Their internal radar will detect that immediately. Do you know why? Because you broke the expected pattern. The human brain is addicted to patterns. When you break a pattern, you generate automatic attention. It's inevitable. But here comes the most important part. Consistency. You can't apply this once and give up. Reverse psychology is a long-term game. It's about reprogramming how people perceive you. It's about changing your position on the social chessboard. Remember the boomerang effect I mentioned at the beginning? You launch calculated indifference and receive multiplied attention, but it needs to be calculated. It's not about being a jerk. It's about having self-worth and demonstrating that through actions, not words. Words are cheap. Actions are expensive. People pay dearly for actions. Some people will tell you this is manipulation, that it's wrong to use psychology to influence people. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather continue being ignored or learn to navigate social dynamics with intelligence? Every human interaction has elements of influence. When you dress well, you're influencing. When you choose your words, you're influencing. The difference is that now you're doing it consciously, not by accident. Studies show that people with high social intelligence earn an average of 40% more. They have more satisfying relationships. They get promoted faster. This isn't manipulation. It's social competence. Do you want to remain in the group of the incompetent? Now I'm going to give you a bonus technique that few apply. Intermittent validation. It's like an emotional slot machine. Sometimes you give full attention. Sometimes you completely disappear. Inconsistency creates addiction. Casinos make billions with this principle. Why wouldn't you use it to your advantage? But be careful, it has to be natural. If it seems too calculated, you lose credibility. The art is in appearing spontaneous while being strategic. It's a delicate balance. Pay attention to this. When you master reverse psychology, you're not just changing how others see you, you're changing how you see yourself. Real confidence comes from knowing you have options. When you stop pursuing, you become pursued. Have you noticed how people desperate for attention always receive less? It's the paradox of need. The more you need, the more you need. Less you receive, the less you need, the more you attract. It's counterintuitive. That's why few master it. Let me tell you a final secret. There's a window of opportunity in every interaction. It usually lasts between 3 to 7 seconds. That's when the person subconsciously decides if you're interesting or not. Most people waste this window trying to impress. You're going to use it to create tension. Tension is more powerful than impression. Tension generates curiosity. Curiosity generates emotional investment. Emotional investment generates sustained attention. Do you see how everything connects? But there's one thing you need to understand now. None of this works if you don't have a life of your own. If your only concern is making someone notice you, you've already lost the game. Reverse psychology works when it's natural, not forced. You need to genuinely be busy, genuinely have interests, genuinely not depend on others' validation. Fake it till you make it doesn't work here. People sense desperation like sharks sense blood. You need to build a life that others want to be a part of, not pretend you have one. Start with small changes. Develop a new hobby. Connect with different people. Create experiences that don't depend on that person who ignores you. Suddenly, you're no longer pretending to be busy. You are genuinely busy. And do you know what happens when you're genuinely busy? You stop checking your phone every minute. Stop stalking social media. Stop begging for crumbs of attention. You become the prize, not the competitor. This mindset shift is crucial. Without it, all the techniques in the world won't work. With it, you don't even have to think much. The right actions flow naturally. Always remember that. Now you have two choices. Continue doing what you've always done and keep being ignored. Or apply what you've learned here and completely turn the game around. The choice is yours. But let me warn you about one thing. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. How many times have you watched videos, read articles, promised to change, and nothing happened? Today can be different, but only if you act. Start small, apply one technique, see the result. Adjust, apply another. It's a process, not an event. Rome wasn't built in a day. Your new social persona won't be either, but every interaction is an opportunity to practice. Every conversation is a laboratory. Every person who ignores you is an involuntary teacher. Learn the lesson, apply the knowledge, master the game. You've made it this far because something in you wants to change. That something is your instinct telling you that you deserve more, you deserve attention, you deserve respect, you deserve to be valued. But deserving isn't enough. You need to command. Reverse psychology is about subtly commanding. It's about influencing without forcing. It's about attracting without pursuing. It's about winning the game by playing by rules no one taught. Now you know the rules. The question is, are you going to play or are you going to keep watching from the sidelines? People in the stands complain. People on the field conquer. Which do you choose to be? One last thing before you go. If this knowledge made sense to you, if you felt that mental click of understanding, do yourself a favor. Like this video now, before you forget, subscribe to the channel because there's a lot more rare knowledge coming your way. And remember the social boomerang effect I mentioned at the beginning? You just launched the first boomerang by deciding to change. Now it's only a matter of time until that attention returns to you multiplied. The game has begun. Are you ready?